Please welcome Paige, John, and Stephanie. Thank you.
Amazing. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you, Wayne. That was a fantastic presentation. I hope everyone got a lot out of that. My name is Paige. I'm the Director of Strategic Practices here at WalkMe, and I'm so excited to be diving into this conversation with you about the evolution of the DAP profession. I've spent the last 5.5 years working with companies growing and scaling their DAP programs and operations, and it has been such a transformation, as we just saw in all the statistics. Not only have organizations really worked to evolve their programs within, but we've seen tremendous impact on the individual and the expansion of their roles. And so with that, it's a great pleasure to, one, share the stage with these two celebrities. So I'll formally introduce John Prescott, Manager, Organization Transformation Practice at Deloitte. Thank you. And then Stephanie Zarabian, Sales Enablement, Innovation, and Insights Leader at Cisco.
Thanks for having us, Paige.
Yeah, thank you. So to kick off the panel, why don't you all tell us a little bit about yourself, how you first got introduced to digital adoption, and then maybe how that plays into your role today. And we'll start with John.
Sure. So I am in Organization Transformation Consulting, which is Deloitte's consulting arm that focuses on our clients' most complex digital and cloud-oriented organizational changes. I've had the distinct pleasure of serving 60-plus clients in my tenure at Deloitte, although I was first introduced to WalkMe, and I really got to know it through our internal usage. We at Deloitte have used WalkMe on 80-plus of our enterprise applications, and I'm one of the 160,000 employees that access it every day. So when the opportunity came up to form an alliance with WalkMe and help our clients achieve that same value, I was the first to volunteer. And now I lead our digital adoption platform services organization, which is our service offering that we provide our clients to help them achieve that and unlock that same value.
Amazing, thank you. And Stephanie?
Sorry, I'm nervous. Sorry, Gracie Flores is right there.
I know.
Gracie Flores from Nestle is right there. Sorry, she's my hero. But I'm starstruck. I didn't get to say hi to her before. But I recently joined Cisco about 9 months ago. Cisco is, I'm seeing people. I'm so excited. Cisco is actually my 6th company that I've implemented WalkMe projects on. And I've been just about every role on there, doing everything together. The gentleman who taught me jQuery is sitting right there in the front row as well. So I feel like my career has been a combination of implementing at lots of different companies, whether big or small, on one platform, on many, sitting in IT, sitting in learning and development, sitting in sales enablement now. And it's just been a combination of me just in the trenches, learning how to build, trying to do something different at a company who everyone else is saying to do the same thing, and learning from literally dozens of you that I see sitting here, and even having, I can't believe that I can say that I have members of my team here at Cisco here, but I have 3 incredible individuals here, so it's so exciting.
Yeah.
Stephanie, I feel like you're being humble. Your videos on LinkedIn, I feel like we're some of the first.
All 13 people who watch them are here right now. That's why I finally go somewhere and people recognize me. It's really exciting.
I know.
Thank you for those 13, by the way.
I know.
Like and subscribe.
I know, it's a lot of pressure, and especially Wayne being the most talented DAP professional at WalkMe, I haven't even figured out how to describe that yet. Like, what does that mean? When I talk to my mom or my parents or spouses, et cetera. So I'm curious, how do you all describe the digital adoption professional? And what's your favorite thing about being a DAP pro, if you can top it?
I describe it as being just somebody who just is innovative. Again, what I said, every company I've ever sat in, everyone's been doing the same thing for like 47 years. Everyone's seen everything. They've been through changes. They've been through the dot-com boom. They've been through the recession in 2007, 2008. And they think that they know how to enact change. And then I come in and say, no, I've got something that's arguably a little better. So it's a little hard to put yourself out there at different companies, but really my favorite thing about being a DAP professional is being that little weird voice in the corner that says, actually, how about we try something different? And how about I amaze everybody here with what we can do with it? So I love like surpassing expectations and exceeding what people think, and really bringing the art of the possible to life with all these projects that I do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what pulls at my heartstrings too, is like just the innovation aspect and being a creative. Yeah, John, how about you?
I think to me, being a DAP professional means wearing a lot of hats, which I love that slide because it showed just how many hats a DAP professional can wear. Just to highlight some of them, I think being a data analyst, looking at the insights coming out of a platform like WalkMe, looking at the other points of data, support tickets, qualitative inputs from stakeholder interviews, operational metrics, pulling all that data together in order to paint that picture of adoption, being a solution architect, being a user experience designer, understanding the human on the other end of the screen and what they're trying to achieve out of that application, and finally also a learning and change expert, someone that can form these experiences to be instructional and engaging to users. And I think my favorite part about being a DAP professional is getting to wear all those different hats on a project. You might wear one, you might wear all of those different hats, and it's truly an extremely versatile and valuable role.
Yeah, agreed. Thank you for sharing that. I know wearing multiple hats can feel stressful, but it's also incredibly expansive. So thank you.
And we look great in all of them.
You look great in all the hats. So Stephanie, this question's for you. You've created opportunities within companies to lead digital adoption programs. And so from your perspective, how has that matured over the course of your career?
Well, I feel like there's that maturity level of being a DAP professional where you sneak into meetings, like who here has snuck into meetings? Like you caught wind of a deployment and you're like, cool, and they're like, why, are you lost? Like this is a web chat, like how did you get here? But I feel like there's that progression to say like, oh, actually cool, like this deployed, now we need to fix it because it's broken. And there's that, and then companies finally realize, maybe let's bring you in a little early. You kind of brought people to this website. I see people nodding. This is happening. It's real, and it keeps happening. It's like, just bring me in a little early, just a scooch. But then I feel like companies come to that realization point where they say, okay, actually, we're launching a new project next year. Let's start thinking about how DAP can be integrated. And I think incredible companies that I've learned from, like Schneider Electric and Nestle, that's really part of their strategy in any sort of tech deployment or any sort of change management program. And that's something that has been incredible to watch.
Agreed. Thank you. John, did you have any comments on that one?
No, I think
no. But maybe.
Actually, what I loved about what you said was getting to the conversation sooner. And I think that's definitely the trend that we at Deloitte are seeing as well. We have the pleasure of supporting our clients in the advise stage, even making the case for a major organizational change through the implementation, integration of the key technology infrastructure, through operate and maintenance of that technology infrastructure. And I think what we're seeing just as a trend now is bringing the digital adoption conversation in at the advise part of that journey, and as I think the technology has evolved and as the practice around it has evolved, we're seeing that it's more than a point solution, and it is actually a holistic part of that digital adoption strategy that you can plan out from the get-go. I think just to illustrate how a client has gone down that journey with us, one is coming to mind. They originally used WalkMe to help them manage their self-service experience on SuccessFactors, right? Pretty small target audience at first. And over the year that we've worked with them, their usage of WalkMe has gone up 300%. Now it's covering all 19,000 of their employees. And in parallel, they've done surveys to help measure whether employees are actually finding this useful. And over 90% of the responses have been positive. I think, success stories like that we've started to see, and we're now front-loading that conversation around adoption early because we've seen that it can truly, be part of that digital adoption strategy to help organizations sustain their transformation outcomes long-term.
Yeah, amazing, especially working at a place like Deloitte where you have such wide exposure to a variety of companies going through this transformation. And so it's amazing to see this kind of come in at ground zero and then start to progress into a success story. And so I would love to move into stakeholder questions, because this is where I think we get a lot of insights, inquiries around like how do we start to build advocacy around this. And so Stephanie, I think you have been an incredible champion builder, like not only of yourself, but how does that look within organizations?
think you just kind of got to be a party of one on the champion front for a while, and it's okay to be your own cheerleader at your company. But one thing that I've noticed is I was watching the show Ted Lasso, and they talk about the first thing he does. He's never been a soccer coach. He doesn't know the words. He's goofy, and he doesn't have any respect. But the first thing he does is he takes in notes about how to, are their snacks bad? You know, what do we need to fix here? And they say, oh, the water pressure is rubbish. So what does he do is he fixes the water pressure. And that's kind of what I do at all the different companies I go to. I meet with different teams. I go around. And people think, oh, it's like sticking spaghetti at the wall. But no, I'm really fixing the water pressure, and I'm finding out what hurts for these different organizations. What are these pain points for our cybersecurity specialists at Cisco? What are the pain points for these pre-sales specialists? And how can I help them and fix their water pressure? And I think that just garners little champions around the organization, and your name starts getting brought up. But I really want to call attention to the fact that having somebody in a leadership role who is a champion is so amazing. I have an incredible senior director now. He's such a huge champion. He coaches me and guides me along as I improve and I iterate, and I continuously try and do better. And so while it's great to be a champion of one, really please try and find that leadership, that person in leadership who can really help elevate you as well.
Yeah, thank you. I love that, like, kind of thinking about fixing the faucet and like what's most important to them, and like really figuring out like how WalkMe can be the golden thread. Like as we start to, spawn across organizations, it's really important, as Wayne said, to like think about like the business organizations, the objectives. How do we start to make sense of like the bigger picture, but then also be able to zoom in like the micro aspect of solving a problem. And John, how do you kind of like go about building champions or like building out those stakeholder networks, especially since Deloitte's doing more of the advisory and consulting? Like how do you ensure that has some long-lasting change within the organizations you're working with?
Yeah, we work very often in the early stages of a transformation in order to help identify the right champions to carry the torch and the right leaders to engage at different levels so that we can achieve those transformation outcomes. And I think one of the great tools that we use at Deloitte is an asset that we call Leadership Scan. It helps us to help assess leaders' capabilities and their any gaps that we should call to their attention and be constructive on in order to help them be successful ultimately in guiding their organization through that change.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that asset. All right, so last question. Reach under your chairs. There's a crystal ball. Thank you. Yes, crystal ball time.
I was really excited there.
Everyone thinks it's going to be a gift.
I thought I was getting a golden ticket.
There's WalkMe socks later. So crystal ball gazing. What's in the future for the DAP professional, the DAP profession? What do you think?
I mean, it's been a hard couple years. I know that there's lots of layoffs all the time, and Hocus Pocus 2 was a big letdown, let's be honest. Things aren't perfect, that's what I'm trying to say. But I think if I can look, I hope to inspire anybody to just lead without formal authority. Wherever you're sitting, whatever role you're in, if you're a builder, if you're a project manager, if you're the data analyst person sitting in IT, you can become somebody that can really influence individuals at your organization because you have a tool that's more powerful than any other tool that your company has. There's conferences going on right now in Vegas where the most impactful thing and the thing that's blowing everyone's mind is this thing that we've been doing since 2018, and that's personas and individualizing our content for each seller. And I think that because you have that powerful tool, you need to be able to put yourself out there and just lead with it.
Yeah. Thank you. Really good, Brad.
Yeah, I was reading Deloitte's 2022 Insights to Action report, and one of the stats that jumped out at me was that 40% of the global workforce is going to require reskilling on a basis of every 6 months or more. And that 94% of business leaders expect their employees to learn on the job, which is up from 65% in 2018. So we're just seeing an environment which I think has also been precipitated by the recent pandemic, the ever-changing technology landscape, that there is an environment of continuous change which requires continuous learning. And that digital adoption platforms are uniquely situated kind of at the intersection of those things, being able to really bring employees along the way. I think this genre has really evolved so much over the past 5 years in particular. You know, I can think of when WalkMe was really known just for step-by-step walkthroughs, right? And I don't want to say just, but now I feel like we're seeing so much more value and so much more innovation in this space. And I think the reason it has gotten to achieve that is because of the community that is really behind it. You go to WalkMe World, you go to the community solutions. I look at the things that my team of engineers create. They're truly innovative, and they've, I think, elevated, the position of WalkMe in these transformations to become that even more meaningful part of a digital transformation and adoption strategy.
Yeah, so meaningful. Thank you both, John and Stephanie, for your time today. It was such a pleasure to learn from you, and we're grateful for you sharing your perspectives with the community.